And the distinction, or a distinction, is that you can have many places in which you reside. You can have a residence in California, you can have a residence in Hawaii, you can have your place in Paris.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. The little island that you bought off the coast of Caribbean,
sure,
Belize, all of those are your residences, but you only have one domicile. And the domicile is the place that you consider your home. So you could live, even as a green card holder, you could live in the United States for 30 years. But if you still think of that little island off of the coast of Belize as your home, you are not a domiciliary of the United States. And technically, you only qualify for that $60,000 exemption.
Is this an intent requirement, or is this, what is domiciliary or domicile?
Domiciliary, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a question of intent. Where do you intend to live? Where do you intend to die? Even if you don't live there at the present, it's, what do you really consider your home? And it is a slippery concept. I mean, there have been cases, obviously these days, well, yes, I need to strike that. I was going to say the IRS can't go after you, but I think I'd get in trouble for that. So I might take that one out. Just domicile is a slippery concept. There's a, I guess, the landmark case is a gentleman who, and this goes back to like the 30s or the 40s. He had been in the United States for years and years and years. He had a business in the United States. His wife and I think his kids were in the United States. He went back to, I believe it was Iran, to visit his dying mother. And he got sick while he was there and couldn't travel back to the U.S. and ended up dying in Iran. He had a substantial estate by 20s or 30s or 40s standards. And when his estate was being settled, the IRS basically said, wait a minute, you are not, or he was not a domiciliary of the United States. So he's only got this $60,000 exemption. And it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the attorneys had to lay out a case for why he was a domiciliary of the United States. And of course, the IRS wanted its tax money. So they were laying out all of the reasons why he was not. He did end up, or his family did end up, proving that he was a domiciliary because he intended to return to the U.S. He was just prevented from doing so because he got sick.
Right. No, that understandable. And so there was actually a court case about this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to someone who is can we use the term non-resident alien, but it applies to resident aliens as well, doesn't it? It's the same rule.
It can apply to resident aliens. I mean, one of the questions that when I'm dealing with a couple where one or both of them is a green card holder, I ask them the question, if something happened to your spouse, would you stay in the United States or would you leave? And if they say, I would leave, they're technically not domiciliaries of the United States, right? Because their intent is not to stay here. Now, typically, once people have kids and the kids have grown up in the U.S., and more importantly, the grandkids are in the U.S., people don't tend to leave the United States. But I've had clients who've said, look, I can go back to China or I can go back to Vietnam or, whatever the country is, and I can get someone to take care of me full time for $300 a month, and it'll be great care. I can't afford to do something like that in the U.S. So I plan to leave. I don't want to be a burden to my kids.
That makes a lot of sense too. And that's really understandable. But I think given the choice, I think most people are going to have the intent to pay the least amount of tax, no matter where they consider home. Right. So, I mean, yeah, but given the right question, they might say, oh, you know what? Oh, I tend to be here, right here in the U.S. and get that full exemption amount.
Well, and quite frankly, because of the way that the test works, what they say today doesn't matter. It's what is it at the time that they die.
Mm.
So, you can't really plan for someone changing their mind 10 years from now or 20 years from now. You can make them aware of what the issues are, but they may fully intend to stay in the United States today. And for whatever reason, they change their mind, 10 years or 15 years from now. Or they may fully intend to leave today and change their mind because, again, now they've got grandkids here or, the situation has changed.
And I think there's always that weird case, but I think for most people, this is really clear. Where is their domicile? They're going to have, if for a non-resident alien, it's not here. So it's not in the US. It's the question really comes with people that are resident aliens. So they're living in the United States and there's some have residency here without a green card, but they are not citizens of the US.
Correct.
That's where the ambiguity comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is the problem?